Do you like Bitcoin, but do you also like He-Man? Well, Skeletor is coming to the blockchain. This is around the blockchain. Thank you for joining, everybody. Guys, we started about 5 minutes late. We're going to blame Doug. Doug got his fur coat stuck in a revolving door somewhere. He might be joining in halfway through the episode. We're kind of waiting for it. But guys, hit the like button because we got two phenomenal guests and maybe a hype appearance by Doug later. We're going to go ahead and start. First time on, I believe, Eric Carlson. Eric, did we get the X right down in the corner? Yep. That's a lot of X's.
A lot of X's. The original Eric Carlson was taken, so it works out that Twitter changed to X for me. So
you were ahead of your times, just like getting into crypto early. Also on today, we have Rodney holding it down. Rodney, we were just joking ahead of time. What did they used to call you as a kid growing up?
Ronald, which it's close, but come on.
We love our Ronalds. We love our Ronalds and our Donalds. If you're watching, make sure you hit the like. All Rons, Dons, and Rods, folks. But folks, we're going to talk about don't pay me in crypto. What are crypto employees actually getting paid in? Are they choosing crypto? Are they choosing dollars? Then we're going to talk about Chase Bank rugging UK customers. And then we got to talk about Skeletor on the blockchain. I had a choice NFT. I was going to talk about the Pudgy Penguins. I was going to talk about He-Man. I chose He-Man for you, Chaniacs, because I know you wanted to hear about He-Man. Let me know if you wanted to hear about He-Man. But let's just get right into it. Eric, don't pay me in crypto. It's according to Pantera Capital's latest survey. They surveyed 1,600 people who work in the blockchain space. And I was looking at the number that wants to get paid in fiat versus getting paid in crypto. Well, 97% of people prefer to get paid in fiat versus crypto. It also looked at, of those who are getting paid in crypto, what's the most popular crypto? It's USDC, followed by USDT, then followed by Bitcoin. And 87% of these people working from home. Now, Eric, I want to ask you, I like crypto. I prefer to get paid in fiat, though. What about you? What would you prefer to be paid in if you could be paid in anything?
Well, that entirely depends on what I need the money for. So if you have different streams of income, you might want to get paid in different ways. If you're not going to touch it, yeah, I would want to be paid in Bitcoin. Pay me in Bitcoin. I'm going to let it sit there. It'll grow over time. Next thing you know, a couple years down the road, I'm going to look at it and it's going to be worth 10 times whatever, depending on if I got paid in the bull market or the bear market. If I need the cash to spend because I need to live, I need to pay my rent, pay me in fiat. I'll convert the rest of it later to Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano. Those are just the top 3 coins I believe in. So that's probably what I'm going to DCA that extra money into. But if you got to spend it, spend it. That's what fiat's there for. It's there for spending it and getting rid of it, not for holding on to it. So like I said, if you've got different streams of income and one of them can just sit there, yeah, get that in crypto. But if not, take it in fiat.
All right. Well, you listed 3 cryptos. I'm going to give you 1 extra point for the third choice. You said Bitcoin, then you said Ethereum, then you said Cardano. Rodney, it's going to be a similar question here. Say you had to be paid in crypto, just fiat was not an option for the situation. What crypto would you want to be paid in if you couldn't choose stablecoin?
Well, I think the biggest issue is, when you look at cryptocurrency, it's like, well, what is it? 60% of Americans who are making over 100K a year are living paycheck to paycheck. So obviously, if you're getting paid in crypto, I see it less, obviously, as a currency, especially something like Bitcoin as more of a store of value. And if you need money, weekly or biweekly, there's no way you're going to get paid in Bitcoin because you're going to need to cash it out. And if you look at Bitcoin, yeah, inflation's bad, but if you look at Bitcoin from its all-time high, it's down pretty significantly, where the dollar, 9% inflation at the beginning, now 3%. It's not too bad compared to, Bitcoin being down pretty much half of what it was during the all-time high. But if I had to pick a cryptocurrency and I, say didn't need the money if I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that, I would say definitely probably I like Avalanche. I'm a huge Avalanche person. I like Bitcoin too, but I do like AVAX. I think AVAX is being slept on a lot, had a lot of hype going into the bull market. Unfortunately, the biggest decentralized application on there took a bit of a dump. So I would say Avalanche and then Bitcoin.
All right. I like how you said, right before you chose Avalanche, you said, well, I would definitely probably choose Avalanche. So I'm going to give you 1 point for, the final walk back there at the end. Quick follow-up, you brought up inflation. 9%, I wasn't thinking about putting all my money in Bitcoin. 3%, I'm definitely not thinking about putting all my money in Bitcoin. 1,000% inflation, of course I would think that.
No.
So what is Rodney's number where inflation hits this? You're seriously thinking about draining your bank account every week and just putting everything in Bitcoin?
Yeah, well, I think it depends on where you're at financially and what country you live in. If you're in Argentina, where inflation is 120%, well, maybe Bitcoin's a safer option. But like I said before, it depends what time frame you're looking at. If you're looking at Bitcoin over the last 10 years, then obviously Bitcoin beats the dollar, no questions asked. But if you're looking at Bitcoin over the last 2 years, Bitcoin's down significantly. Whereas if you just held the dollar, even though inflation is high, I mean, you'd still be better off just holding fiat. So I think of Bitcoin as digital gold, less of it as a cryptocurrency, because even as a currency, it's so clunky. The network's always clogged. I mean, if you're using Ethereum, network fees are high. So I think fiat's the safest way to go if it's in the short term. But if it's long term, I would take definitely Bitcoin over anything.
You brought up Argentina. It's actually new all-time high. So even though Bitcoin is half the price, as far as I understand, they hit a new all-time high in the past 7 days. Now, Eric, I want to talk to you about the percentage of people that chose crypto. Only 3% of people chose crypto. Did that number surprise you? Did that seem a little low?
No, that doesn't seem too low. Just because, like I said before, if you need that money and you got to spend that money, you're going to choose fiat over crypto. So maybe 3% of the people who are working full-time in crypto don't need to spend that money, which makes sense. The top percentage are the ones who don't need to spend all the money all the time. The top 1% controls how much of the money in the United States. It's that same type of thing. It's across all different sectors. So yeah, the top couple percentage doesn't surprise me that they want to hold on to crypto, get paid in crypto because they don't need to be spending it. But the rest of them are doing a lot of the groundwork, all the people that are employed at Hit Network, they probably need their paycheck to go out and pay their rent and things like that. So they can't just be taking Bitcoin at the top of the bull market at $69,000 and then watch their, necessary funds dwindle away. So it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I went to my local power authority and I tried to pay an ape coin. They end up just having to call the authorities on me and got me for loitering and skulking or something like that. All right, well, folks, let's talk about Chase Bank rugging the UK. I have a little headline here. Chase Bank tells UK crypto users to take their business elsewhere. This was revealed in a customer email they sent out to everybody, and starting on October 16th of this year. So you're looking at right around 3 weeks from today, folks. The bank will block all crypto-linked payments by UK customers via their debit card or bank transfer. They cited a reason. They just didn't do it for no reason. They're doing it for you. It's for your protection. They cited increasing fraud and scams using digital assets as the reason behind this decision. And they aim to protect UK customers and to keep your money safe by forcing you to keep your money in an inflationary asset there. Chase Bank has about 1.6 million UK customers, and they only launched there 2 years ago. So they've been making some pretty good strides. Eric, I just want to ask you a simple question here. In your opinion, why did they do this?
Well, they did it because they see the writing on the wall when they look at an asset like Bitcoin. We'll just use Bitcoin again. It's been around for about 15 years now since conception, right? Next month will be 15 years since the white paper came out. And in that time, it's gone from worth this much, the goose egg, zero, to at the peak, $1.5 trillion asset. And that's with no traditional financial means coming in, no spot Bitcoin ETF, nothing like that. So they're looking at this and they're saying, well, how can we capitalize on the blockchain? How can we make money? They're going to develop their own chain. They're going to do all these other things. They want to stop you from joining a better decentralized network that's going to be better for you and have more freedoms for you. And anytime, whether it's the government or a corporation, and they take away a freedom you have and they say it's for your benefit, you can guarantee it's not for your benefit, it's for their benefit.
Yeah, it's always for their, we're not protecting the elites. We're not protecting our own interests. It's always for the customer. Customer's always right, folks. Flip a CMG, Robert French, camo. Y'all see what I saw. All right, now, Rodney, we're talking about the elites. It doesn't seem like, in my opinion, I don't think it's for the customers. I think they're maybe pressured by someone. I see you not. Who do you think pressured them, though?
Regulatory bodies. If it's not a company-wide kind of thing, obviously it's only affecting customers in the UK. So it has to be some sort of governing body in the UK. And we know that Binance has had their own troubles in the UK getting different licenses and stuff like that to operate. So to me, it's a UK thing, because if it was a thing or master plan that Chase had, it would be a company-wide thing. Now, what's interesting about that is that there are a lot of scams that happen in cryptocurrency, but we don't hear about them, at least a lot, when it comes to people getting their checking account hijacked and stuff like that. MetaMask, Ledger, they have third-party payment services where you can enter your debit card and stuff like that. But I don't see how that's a huge issue, in my opinion. And to me, this move doesn't make sense from Chase's part. If that was the case, if it was all Chase, I think it would have been a company-wide thing. Something's going on over in the UK, I don't know, anti-crypto, where they don't want that happening. And I think it's just the publicity. They don't want any more negative publicity. And it's really become a trend to kind of dogpile on cryptocurrency in a bear market. But at the same time, I mean, in light of everything that's happened with SBF, how many customers had a bank account linked to FTX and stuff like that, FTX.com? Can you really blame them for coming down hard on crypto? But I think the sentiment will definitely change during greener times. When the market starts to run again, there's more positive sentiment in the cryptocurrency world. So I just think it's a UK thing, a regulatory body thing. And if it was that serious, it would be Chase, worldwide.
All right. Rodney, do you think they'll roll it out globally?
No, I don't think so. I think they see a lot of money in it over here in the United States.
Okay. Eric, do you have fears that they'll roll this out globally, or at least to the US?
I don't think so. I think Rodney's correct that and if you look at a lot of things with banking, a lot of stuff gets tested out in Great Britain first. A lot of regulations come out there. That's where banking started. Where do you think we got our central bank stuff from? It all came from England. So a lot of stuff gets tested over there. HSBC, all those types of things get put in over there. And then if it's successful and they don't get a lot of backlash, then we might see it move over. But it doesn't really scare me, because at the end of the day, I'm going to choose crypto and I'm going to move a lot into crypto, and the market is going to decide what the best player is. And the best player is probably going to be a decentralized system that's not going to rely on a third party. And that's just not the banks, no matter what you do. So,
all right, you're going to move into crypto. I want the chat to move that mouse cursor to the like button. Let's go ahead and smash that thing. Owen, where are we at? Have we hit 69? All right, we'll hit there. It's happening soon. Chat, go ahead and hit that button. All right, well, let's fast forward here and talk about Skeletor and He-Man. One, are there some He-Man fans in the chat? I chose He-Man over Pudgy Penguins, over to the much to the producer's chagrin here. So please let me know. Let me know if you watched a little He-Man back in the day. I had the lunchbox, so that's my claim to fame. Well, He-Man and Skeletor, they launched in 1983. Instantly became a massive hit, instantly became one of the most popular cartoons in all of America, and then became one of the most successful toy lines. What were the top toy lines of the 80s? Transformers, G.I. Joe, and He-Man was right up there with them. Well, they're launching something. Mattel owns the toy line, and they're teaming up with Gary V and the V-Tards and all the V friends there. So Gary V teaming up, and they're launching a duo of a V friend called Skilled Skeleton and Skeletor. They're going to pop up as a pair, and it'll be a physical 2-pack. So this will actually be a physical toy. This isn't going to just be only on the blockchain. And this comes out October 6th. So a little bit more than a week, less than 2 weeks away, folks. And it'll be $45. Mattel and Gary V, they've worked together in the past. It was Uno. Huh? Owen? Hey, big Uno fans over there. They're always hitting me with the reverse card. And I hit him with the draw 4. But Eric Carlson, I'm wondering here. I mean, I'm actually interested in I asked your age earlier, your mid-30s. So, you probably had some exposure when you were a kid. What are your thoughts on He-Man? Can this IP, make a major comeback, similar to what we saw Transformers do about 10, 15 years ago?
Oh, it definitely can. We love, as millennials, to rehash and be like, oh, we're the 90s kids, and we love to reminisce. Everyone loves to reminisce and bring things back from their childhood. We tend to remember things better than they were. And I think He-Man can definitely make a comeback. If all those other ones can, absolutely He-Man can. There's a reason why it was originally popular, so it can become popular again. And the way that Hollywood and everything else is, they can't think up an original idea anymore. So, of course, they're going to try and go back to the well and pull something from nostalgia. So.
All right. I brought up, first I want to pull up this chat real quick. Catch them all. What are He-Man's pronouns? It's in the name. It's in the name.
Yeah, it's He-Man.
Yeah, it's not they, man. All right.
Not
All right, we're getting distracted. All right. That was a good one, though. All right. Well, Rodney, I asked him about his thoughts on He-Man. Well, I want to ask you about the other big partner in this equation, which is Gary V. What are your thoughts on Gary V? Did you get into Gary V content like a lot of people in crypto have? Did you end up going to a garage sale and trying to buy a coffee mug?
Absolutely not. I think Gary Vee is a great personality. I think he's very eccentric, very charismatic, but I think he's just one of those guys that was kind of really championing a huge movement in NFTs. I mean, NFTs were huge, and I'm just not sure, even with some sort of real world asset and like an action figure or a toy, how good NFTs will be in the future. So I'm not saying Gary Vee is a bad guy or anything, but I think he's just trying something new with NFTs that I'm not sure are going to work. I like NFTs, but if you look at all the like major JPEG NFTs, because NFTs are more than just that, right? They're down. And will they ever recover? I mean, I don't know. I think the real use case for NFTs are going to be in two different kind of, you could say, spaces in crypto. One's going to be proof of ownership with deeds, titles, getting rid of the intermediary, showing proof of ownership immutable on the blockchain, can't be changed. And two, in crypto gaming, because crypto gaming assets, here's the issue with crypto gaming assets in general. We had I think it was a Call of Duty, a big gaming game just go down and it's gone forever. Well, hundreds of millions of dollars were spent on in-game assets and now they're gone forever. But with crypto gaming, and especially if it's in a gaming hub, all those gaming assets you buy for that game or in that gaming hub, I mean, they're there forever. So if that game is not popular, well, maybe you can use them in another game. So I don't think NFTs are going to be going in that same direction anymore. And I like Gary Vee, but I just think that this angle is probably not going to work. It may work for a while, but we'll see about the long run.
Quick follow-up. What are your thoughts on He-Man? Did you watch He-Man as a child? Is it a little hokey? Do you think it has a chance to come back?
I mean, honestly, I didn't watch a lot of He-Man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm only 33. I don't know if that was. I watched like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers,
more
and stuff like that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tail end, and then the beginning stage of Power Rangers. Okay.
Street Sharks. You remember Street Sharks?
Yes, Street Sharks, Gargoyles, and Batman animated series. Guys, I mean, we could make a whole episode over peak late 80s, early 90s animated series. Tell us your favorite. If I had to choose one, I'm going with Batman animated series. There's a couple good ones there. All right. Well, Eric, I kind of wonder, what are your thoughts on Gary Vee? Did you, it's kind of similar question. I've been to VCon. I've seen him talk. I don't want to color your opinion. What's your opinion of Gary here?
It's the same of a lot of people who are out there in crypto. They're going to say a lot of things that I agree with because we're all here in the crypto space for certain reasons. And so a lot of that's going to overlap. I don't dislike Gary Vee. I imagine if I sat down in a room with him and we had a discussion, we'd probably agree on a lot of stuff. But we're obviously going to have some differing opinions too. And, he's kind of polarizing, which, a lot of figures are polarizing, and it's never good for the space. I think a lot of people in crypto, Gary Vee included, probably just need to step back and say, hey, I need to grow this space. I need to do certain things, play a little bit more politics of just being more calm and being more relaxed and being inviting to the space and a little bit less standoffish. And I just think that's the vibe I get from Gary Vee. He's kind of the bad boy who comes in and drops a bunch of F-bombs on stage, and it doesn't seem mature, and it's not going to bring a lot of big money and big players into the space. And you need that. You need to bring in the big players, the little players. You need everyone for total crypto adoption. So that's what I dislike about Gary Vee, but he is doing good things in the space. So, you take the good with the bad.
All right. I will share my quick Gary Vee story, folks, but Doug has shown up, folks. Doug, give you a chance. Just, Doug, I'm glad you're here. We love that you're here. You always have great energy. I do like the shades. What's going on, Doug?
Yo, I apologize. My internet went down, and then I realized out of nowhere that I could use my cell phone connection because I'm internet savvy like that, DZ. How is it going, man?
Hey, you made it, and that's all that counts. Doug, real quick, did you like He-Man? Will you buy a He-Man toy?
That's literally the only reason I showed up today, not because you're charming.
I know this. That's what you messaged me.
But if you notice my attire, I messaged you earlier today. Could you please put He-Man on the docket this morning, good sir?
Yeah.
Because as you know, I grew up with showing my nips and having huge swords around me. And I am a big fan of Skeletor He-Man. I saw your reaction, DZ. You love that. And also, I used to hang around the Gary Vee community a lot. There are a lot of good people, positive people, Be interesting to see what they can do, because we also saw that we had the Penguins do some stuff with Walmart today. A lot of interoperability between Web 2 and Web 3 is very cool. And, I think that physical real things will help a lot, because if you notice, like in the cartoons of the 80s and 90s, all the card collecting, like sports action figures were huge, right? Like they even turned like baseball cards into action figures with like starting lineup and stuff. So I think that's huge. Kids are going to like buy like Penguins and Skeletors and, what is it? The skeleton guy at the store. And we want Web3 adoption so people are comfortable with it. And that's a big thing for me. So I think it's really cool. And I also just really like the He-Man action figures and all those, vintage things from like the 90s and 80s. I think most people in Web3, I think, are in their like 30s and 40s and maybe like 20s, and they're probably going to be into it.
Yeah, I actually remember those baseball action figures. I had it was not the same Misoso, it was the Mark McGuire, and I had the variant where he was on roids. He was on a variety of roids. He was a little erratic, but it was a really
his head grew, so you needed to get like a third party helmet, right? To fit on his head.
Yeah, and it had a little side bottle of androstenedione. I think it was. It came with it. You could place it in his hand there. Great talk here, Doug. Last question I'm gonna ask you here though. What was your favorite early '90s era cartoon? I chose Batman. And Rodney and Eric, I want to ask you the same.
Early 90s cartoon. Okay, so my favorite one, I think there's so many of them, but I think my favorite one was X-Men, because it was done so well, and you saw that turn into a huge franchise. It's a really, really amazing Saturday morning cartoon. It has not only like things of like anti-racism and all that stuff built into it that we didn't even realize, but it just opened you up to acceptance and fun and adventure. And Wolverine, I mean, who doesn't like Wolverine, bro? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, that was huge. And I think it was like one of the first cartoons where like, whether you're an adult or you're a kid, you could really enjoy it. So that definitely was one of my favorites. But I love Silverhawks and all the different things, from like the 80s and 90s cartoon era. In fact, that's part of the reason we're going back to the 90s, baby, because it's high quality.
Yep. Previously on X-Men, Logan will simp for Jean as Scott watches from the wall across the room and glares. Rodney, real quick, what was your favorite cartoon?
Okay, so my favorite show was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but if we're gonna go with we got two Rodneys. Let's go, baby. Two better than one. If we're gonna go with cartoons, I'm gonna have to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nice.
Is Samurai Jack early 2000 or late 90s? I think it's late 90s.
We'll count it. Samurai Jack was also really good. I think it maybe started in late. All right. Samurai with the asterisk. All right, Eric. Top. Let's just say 90s cartoon.
I'm going with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
It was really big with my older cousins. I'm the oldest boy in my family, so my sister wasn't into the same stuff as I was, obviously. And my older cousins were totally into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I dove headfirst into it, and it still holds up today. It's still great. So.
All right. Well, folks, this has been a fantastic episode. Doug, thank you for coming. Better late than never. Always a great time. I think if you were here for full 30 minutes, it would have been. You just would have swept the competition.
You know that I did this on purpose to make sure I don't win, right? Like I handicapped myself.
Well, I don't know. I think Rodney was due for a victory as well. So Rodney, he ended up taking it. Eric, you did a fantastic job for the first time. Rodney, now is your moment. Please leave us with some parting thoughts.
As the self-proclaimed around the blockchain champion 3 times in a row, baby, going back to back to back. Just thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on my YouTube channel, My Crypto Journey, and follow me on X at Crypto Journey RS. And make sure you smash the like button. Studies have shown that smashing the like button is bullish.
Hey, I know every time you hit it at home, you make Bitcoin go up $1. So guys, Eric's never been on the show before. Rodney hasn't been that often. Doug hasn't really been on that often. So I highly encourage, go down into the description. They have a link to their channel. Go check out their channel. Go check out their socials. Make sure you're following them. Let's just show some Chainiac love. I think that's all we got time for today. It's been a interesting 24 hours for us over at Hit Network. We're just trying to remain positive, create good content, and get ready to get rich for the next bull run. That's my goal. If it's a goal you can get behind, please just support us by hitting the like and supporting these channels. That's all we got. Easy out.